What's up, Cloud Gamers? Welcome to CGX Cast episode 40. We have so much to talk about, y'all. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a good show. But we have members of the Waypoint Podcast as our guests today in today's episode. So glad to have them. We'll come to them in the introduction phase and just check in with them, see what they're doing, see what they're playing. But yeah, so let's just get to this, right? Amazon Luna. More games coming to the platform this week with Wonderful 101 and some Assassin's Creed. So we'll get into that. Google Stadia gave us a pretty dope game for pro members, which was Star Wars Fallen Jedi. Probably saying that name wrong. Always butchered the name of that game.
So many words.
But yeah, it's so crazy, right? And then we got to Resident Evil 8, which a lot of people seem to be having a great time playing on Google Stadia. Geforce Now, as you guys know, give us a roadmap for May, giving us 61 games coming to the platform for May. And we got 16 that was released for this week, which was absolutely insane. And then we got some xCloud news with some games coming. And man, Shadow. We'll talk more about Shadow PC, man. I don't know what the heck is going on there, but we'll update you guys with that here too. So let's get right into this, man. Introduce the panel. Again, I want to give a shout out to GTP40. I know it's last week, but I wasn't here, so I just want to do it in person. So we'll start with you, GTP. Happy 40th, and let people know what you've been playing, what platform.
I knew you wouldn't let me get away with it. So before Resident Evil came out, I was playing a lot of Second Extinction. And that was a lot on xCloud and on the Xbox. And with Resident Evil, it's pretty much just been that. Like I think I said in the Discord, I'm so burned out on the first 2 hours of Resident Evil because I've gone through it 8 times already and I have 3 more times to go.
Crazy, right?
So, yeah, I'll be glad to not have to do that anymore. And Hood, Outlaws and Legends, I've been playing on Geforce Now. And, yeah, as I'm getting used to the maps and the characters, I'm starting to have a lot of fun with that game.
Yeah. So tell me about it. Like, I played it for a little bit. It kind of has like an Assassin's Creed feel to it, but so how is it? How is Hood?
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of. The way you like climb up, execute people, hide in the bushes, things like that. It's very Assassin's Creed like in the movement and in the play. Mm-hmm. But other than that, though, it's straight PvP 4v4, trying to get a key, open a vault, take the chest, escort them with the chest to where you're going to get rid of it, and then you've got to kind of crank it out. You got to stay on the crank while your people watch your back. It's much easier with a group. Some of the pug groups I was in was a little tough, but it was still, though, it's been a lot of fun.
Okay, cool. Have you actually played against people?
Oh, yeah.
Are they good?
People are learning quickly. But, as am I. So my last couple of matches were pretty good and have quite a few wins. And yeah, it's a cool concept. Yeah, and I could see them adding more modes and growing. And considering the game's like $30, it's pretty much a steal.
Yeah, cool, man. Can't wait to get back into it. I, to be honest, fell asleep playing it because it was late. But I had a good time. I just was too tired to enjoy it. But yeah, we'll get back into that. But Hell Monkey, let's get to you, sir. How have you been? And what have you been doing? What have you been playing?
Yeah, I've been grand. I am glad to not be hosting this week, so my anxiety levels are on an even par.
Good, but
no, if anyone follows me on his socials or chats in the Discord, I've been playing a lot of Nier Replicant this week, and I absolutely love it. I think it's just a top drawer game. It was really good when it first came out. But this remake and remaster they've done it's 100 times better. They've took like this generation and just upgraded everything, and I'm absolutely loving it. I've not played anything else this week other than a couple of showcase videos. In fact, no, Pine, that's a free game on Epic this week.
Dude, that game is really cool. Yeah,
absolutely loved it, but Nier Replicants just dropped me right back in just now. Yeah.
Man, you've been playing some really good games, and you're playing there with maximum settings, right?
Oh, no, Boosteroid.
Boosteroid
on the browser, and it's really good, really high detail, 1080. I was really impressed. They've improved so much, by the way, because I tried them when they first came around, and it was really poor. really, really poor. But they've made some good strides, and they're always adding to it, and it's getting better as the days go on.
True. By the way, shout outs to Boosteroid. Some people sleep on. I mean, realistically, it's not the most like reliable and safe, but they get some pretty good games on that platform. And I feel like it's a good alternative, right? If the game is not available in Geforce Now Stadia, check Boosteroid because it might be there. But
Yeah, the biggest problem I think is they don't offer a free trial. You have to pay up front before you get it.
Yeah.
But for me right now, I would recommend it, just because of my experiences. I would recommend giving it a try.
Right. And again, shout outs for hosting last week, man. You did good. Really appreciate that for sure. All right, Duncan, sir, how are you, man? What you been up to? What you been playing? What platform?
I've been doing my usual jumping between everything. Monkey really appreciated my hood play along last night, as I can see in the chat. I've been playing a bit of Pine as well. I'm enjoying that. I have a video coming up in Pine where I'm not Sarky the whole way through it, but I absolutely love the game. It's real fun. I've just came off a couple of hours session of Sea of Thieves there. Absolutely loads of fun. I still haven't the Scooby-Doo what I'm doing in Sea of Thieves, but I'm just sitting there sailing away and getting my treasure and getting murdered, which I seem to have a habit of just getting killed all the time. But it's been a great week for gaming for me. I've really enjoyed myself. I've had a complete another varied thing, and I want to shout out something which isn't actually cloud related at this moment in time. Is the FPS boost on the Series X is just truly astounding with the amount of games they have dropped this week. That's going to pay dividends for the cloud months down the line. But Assassin's Creed in that, absolutely brilliant. It's like a new game.
Yeah. So tell me, you said it's going to pay dividends to the cloud. Do you see the FPS boost coming to xCloud eventually?
Yeah, that's going to happen when we get the Series X blades in, and then you can play all your older games. I think that's one of the reasons why they're doing the FPS boost, because as we know, 30 FPS games in the cloud,
it's bad.
It's really bad. Yes, so I think that's one of the reasons why they're doing the FPS boost.
Okay, cool. Good to know. I always save the best for last, and that's the guest. So we'll get to JD and Rictone here in a bit. But Gamer TV, you there?
Yeah, what's up, man? I'm here.
Cool.
Hey,
Awesome.
guys.
Good to have you, man. Good to have you.
Yes, I'm telling you. Yes.
So let the people know what you've been playing, what platform you've been using, and just how you been.
Geez, you know what? Honestly, I haven't played a whole lot this week. I've been finishing up a few coding projects and a couple of games with contractors, but I jumped into Resident Evil 8 and ran that across the board, console, cloud, and I'm thinking about refunding it, for Stadia and sticking with local. It's just an entirely different experience for me. But that's about it, man. Looking forward to getting into Hood, like Duncan mentioned. That seems to be a fun time.
Yeah. Interest. We'll get to Resident Evil and Stadia, just get y'all's take on here. But so let's introduce the guest for this show. Again, we have JD and Rictone from Waypoint Podcast. So let's start with JD, sir. How are you? Let people know who you are, what you do, and what game you've been playing. Also, what platform you've been using to play those games on.
All right, hey, thank you for having me here, and I'm JD3MXP. If you guys don't know, I'm on the Waypoint Gaming Podcast with Rictone. I'm also on the Stadia Bash Community Network. You can catch me streaming Friday night fights there, and we're gonna have a Mortal Kombat 11 tournament May 21st. $50 Google Play gift card for the winner of the tournament. And you can also catch me on Cloud Station TV with Dr. Spaceman and Stadia Bet Gaming and Ray, where we go over PS Now and PlayStation games. So yeah, that's who I am and what I do. I'm just a gamer. Love the game and talk about games, man. As far as what I've been playing this week or this past week is Returnal on PS5. it reminds me. I've been saying this. It's like Metroid Prime or Super Metroid, and meets Demon Souls put together.
Awesome.
That's what Returnal is like, with the atmosphere, and just how you can die and return, and how the gameplay and story is evolved with that. It's just real nice, and it's like a bullet shooter, like a Doom. So if you enjoy any 3 of those games, you have a PlayStation 5, check those out. Check that game out.
Nice. And that's exclusive, right? To PlayStation for now, right?
Yep.
Cool. So there you go. People are like, oh, Sony don't have any exclusives coming out for the PlayStation. Here you go. You got a pretty good one with Returnal for sure. Cool. All right. So, yeah, Rictone, sir. Let the people know. Yeah, it's good to have you, my guy.
Thanks for the invite. I always watch this show, so it's crazy to be on it. Like, to be on the show, I always watch. It's just cool, man, to be with all these esteemed guests. But yeah, man, just me. I'm just a guy that just likes video games, likes movies, tech, just pretty much a bunch of guy stuff. Like, that's my channel, but it's really consumer related. So it's kind of stuff I use honestly. There's nothing that I have an obligation to use. So I mean, so when they see me do Stadia stuff, it's just games I play. So I used to do like just whatever games come for the month and showcase, but I'm catering to just stuff that I use honestly. So so right now I've been playing Outriders, but I've been playing it on the Series X because of all the issues, and I just know that they're not gonna do well with that. That's a whole nother thing. I think Stadia, if you get a contract, it's up to you to make it the best experience, but for your customers. But that's a whole nother thing. But so yeah, I just been playing it on there. So I'm kind of console agnostic. It doesn't really matter where it is. So I'm just playing it there right now. But Stadia wise, I've been playing Jedi Fallen Order, not because of Pro. I bought it already, but I just been going through the game. I already beat it, but I've been playing it on different levels. It's just been good. I put it on the iPhone 12 Pro Max.
Nice.
So it works really great on there. My brother honestly told me about it, and I was like, let me try it on there because I had a Pixel 4 XL, but I just went to an iPhone because the Pixel 5 was like mid tier. They went mid tier. So I'm waiting. If they come back Pro, they come back to a premium level. But that's pretty much me right there, man. Welcome, chat. I see some folks I know. Harriet, all right, Chief, what's up?
It's good to have you guys on here, man. This is going to be a fun one for sure. All right, let's get into the news. We're going to start off with Luna. Not a lot happening here, but again, they gave us a roadmap last week. Well, let's talk about the game that was released this week with the wonderful 101. Anyone here play it? By the way, if you guys didn't know, this is a platinum game, meaning this game comes from people who made games like Bayonetta, right, which is a highly respected franchise. But yeah, so this game is currently on Luna right now if you have Luna Plus subscription. So yeah, just gonna open this up. Open with Duncan first. What's your take on Wonderful 101 coming to Luna? I know you guys still don't have it there yet, but what's your take? Do you feel like this is a good get for the platform?
Yep, it's a traditional Luna game, as I'm going to call it. It is a game with a following. It's a cult game. People may have not played it. A hidden gem. It's being well curated. Excited to actually play it when it eventually comes over here, and it just seems to be more and more signs of life that Luna is going to be expanding outside the US. So hopefully we will see it soon. But Wonderful 101. People played it on the Wii, and that's been put onto the Switch as well, as far as I know. So pretty good, and it has got good reviews. Platinum game, as we said. So again, I think it's a good pickup. Do you want me to touch on Assassin's Creed, or we're going to come back to Assassin's Creed?
No. Cover it while you at it.
Just adding to the backlog there in the Ubisoft games. This is a 2D sort of Assassin's Creed game, so it's a smaller scale sort of one. They're not bad. I wouldn't say they're great games, but they're they're not bad. They're just they mix it up a wee bit.
Okay. Yeah. So again, this was like a sneak release in us. They highlighted Wonderful 101 on the Twitter and hardly talked about Assassin's Creed India releasing, but it's here for Luna as well. So cool. All right, let's get to JTP. Jerry, what's your take on these games? You've did a video on Wonderful 101. So what's your take on it? Did you enjoy your experience?
Yeah, I played Wonderful 101 back when it was a Wii U exclusive, I believe is how it came out. And Platinum Games is always good. So I knew I was going to like the game going in, and it played great. I hadn't checked out the remaster, so it was great to see that on there. And when I went to go play it, I saw Assassin's Creed Chronicles India on there, and I was like, they didn't mention that. Like, we had no idea that was coming, so it was one of those little stealth drops. But Luna's good at that. They'll just kind of throw a game on there in between some other games and never say anything. It's just kind of hanging out there. But Luna has grown on me more and more the longer it's out. And I think for you, Ace, as well, I've seen your comments and attitude toward Luna also shift as you're seeing what they're up to. And that just shows, they're picking good games. The money you spend to play these right now, it's $5.99 a month. It's just getting better and better. And this month has a lot of good games coming out. So yeah, I'm really happy to see where Luna's headed, especially for being in beta. To me, it's really starting to shape up to be a real cloud gaming service, just ready for more channels and expansion so more people can try it.
True. So something that for some reason I never thought of this, but just hit me sometime this week about Luna's just chilling in beta. Actually, I'll get to that after I check in with you guys, but there's something I want to say, so if I forget, remind me. But let's check in with Rictone. What's your take on this? Have you tried Luna out? What's your take on Wonderful 101 and Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, I was pretty early. I got the invite like super early. Luna, I was trying it. I didn't get the peripherals, so I was trying it on the browser. It was mixed reviews. I played Control. It worked, but when it stutters, it's cloud gaming. If there's any stuttering, I don't mind. Like, maybe if it works 90%, but just when it stuttered, it was like an old CD player. If y'all remember those back in the day,
Yeah.
it was like that. It's like an old CD. It was like an old CD player. So I was like, I don't know, but 101 looks really cool. I was just checking it out. I was like, yo, this thing is dope. I was like, I like that. I remember the commercial. It had a commercial and everything. I mean, the guy looks cool. Something like this I would play. Like, cloud gaming for me has become like my mobile. Like, I had ideas maybe getting the Switch, but I'm like, when you have a phone, like a big size phone, just get like the what is it? Those peripherals that you make it look like the Switch, and you're good.
Yeah.
It's almost better, to be honest. So
Yeah.
yeah, that they're taking money away from Nintendo, man, for me, because I was like, I could buy a Switch, but I'm like, nah. But this perfect for me. It's right up my alley for mobile.
That's awesome.
Man.
My gripe with the Switch is I feel like their games are kind of watered down, right? Especially like the third party games. If you're not playing like in Nintendo exclusive games, right? Like Doom, there's Doom Eternal on Switch. I'd rather play that, on my smartphone with a controller on Stadia than on the Switch, just being real.
Yeah.
Right. So cool. How about you, JD? What's your take on this? Have you tried Luna? What's your take on Wonderful 101 coming to the platform?
Yeah, I tried Luna out for a little bit. I let my subscription lapse over, but because I just had too many subscriptions going on at the time. But I did try the service. I did like what I see. I'm just not a fan of the subscription model that they have going on. Because I like to purchase the games, even though you don't technically own them. I like how Stadia does it. But Wonderful 101, I was never interested in the game, but it's glad that they got a game like that on the service, because like you said, picking the right games, picking different types of games, or even just making people say, oh yeah, that was on the Nintendo, it's on Luna, let me go check that out. So it's a good little publicity for them.
Yeah, true. Cool one. Gamer TV, let's get to you. What's your take on Luna and just Wonderful 101 coming to the platform?
I thought it was a great get. I mean, it's the game was great back in 2013, and the remastered version just improved visuals, frame rates bumped up a bit, and for the cloud, it's the perfect display of what cloud gaming is right now for Luna. Luna's full of these type of games, and they're being really smart about how they're rolling things out. I think at some point we'll begin to see more AAAs, but for now, this is good for the lane they're choosing to trouble down. So it's pretty. I think it was great.
True. Good to hear your take on that for sure. Monkey, let's get to. I know you haven't experienced it yet, but what's your take on Luna just getting a title like this on the platform?
No, look, listen, getting a platinum game as part of your subscription, I think is a great get. We know they make fantastic games. And as everyone has already alluded to, that was quite a big game. When it came out, they made a big deal about it. It had its own advert, etc. And then, adding the Assassin's Creed Chronicle games, I think they're great to fill up the library. I actually like the 2.5D Assassin's Creed games more than I like the bigger AAA ones. But that's just,
really,
yeah, that's just my style of gaming. Though I like that sort of style. And when you don't have a lot of time, and you can't put in like 40 hours a week on games like what you have to do with Assassin's Creed, etc., to get anywhere in them.
Yeah.
I prefer the smaller ones like that. So yeah, listen, two brilliant games. The early access request is open to everyone now, it seems. So I'm waiting on that dropping, and I'm going to jump in and check it out for sure.
Yeah, cool. So me personally, I think this is a great get for Google Stadia for Amazon Luna. And, like with their lineup for May, you see more Japanese games coming to the platform. So I'm just looking at, sorry, I'll share my screen with you guys. I'm looking at their catalog of games, and I don't know if y'all are seeing a theme here, man. When it comes to the games coming out for Luna, you've seen a lot of Japanese games. You've seen Sega in here. You've seen Konami on here. You've seen Platinum games on here. And I think Amazon's doing something right with the catalog of games they bring into this platform. I think it's a matter of time before we see Capcom. Oh, we do have Resident Evil 7. What the heck am I talking about? Again, shout outs to them and the game selection. Go ahead, Duncan.
I was just going to say they've got someone out there in Japan, as far as I know. They've got a presence out there already with Amazon Games under that umbrella. And again, I think people are underestimating how much Amazon are actually backing gaming, because if you go and have a look at all their jobs going, there is an absolute ton of them. And as we alluded to about a month or two ago, they're hiring not one, not two, but 3 different roles for community sort of manager over here in Europe. They're looking for one in the UK, one in France, and a general European one as well. So they are definitely taking this 100% serious.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that.
For sure. So let me talk about something, and I'm going to open this up to the panel to see what y'all's take is on this. So shout outs to Brian from the Nerf Report. He did an awesome video on Amazon Luna. If you guys haven't checked it out, go check it out. But one of the point he made, I think it was his 4th point, he was saying something that can help Amazon Luna is putting it as a Prime membership subscription. And that just blew my mind. I mean, I should have thought about this, but I didn't. So Prime is in at 130 million subscribers, right? Okay. And you see the advantage that xCloud has, right? They boast the numbers, I believe is over 20 plus members right now. And so that's attractive, right, for developers, because they're like, yo, my game can hit 20 million plus people. Right. Imagine if like Luna comes in and flex those 136 million, Prime members, right? They'll be so attractive to devs want to port the games onto Luna, because again, they can reach that many people. So I just want to open this up to you, to the panel. What are your thoughts about that, combining Luna to Prime? And do you think that would make a big difference for Luna when that happens. So open up to Duncan. Go ahead.
I just got to do this first. It's already confirmed it's going to be happening in some stage. It's already, it's already in their thought process, so that if that helps anybody else before they start. But yeah, it is there. That when they launched back last year, it was one of the first questions they were asked, and they are going to implement Prime into Luna in some form. I personally think it'll be like maybe a Luna Plus Lite or something along them lines, rather than getting full Luna Plus. But I think it's already there. It's just how they're going to implement it.
How big of a move would that be, though?
Yeah, we'll see. Like what Duncan said there, if they give like a light version, let the 100-odd million customers try it out. They like it. They subscribe to the full version, don't they? They've got that sitting at the doorstep, and it would be absolutely ridiculous if they didn't implement that in some way. They're sleeping on a lot of potential customers, and I think that's why we see the types of games that we see coming. There's a huge variety. They're appealing to a mass market, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens when they do this.
Right.
I got a thing to say about that. I don't think it's gonna be anytime soon, to be honest, because the thing is with if you introduce something like that and Prime members expect that, they can't just pull Luna one day. I think they want to establish it. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but something like Amazon Prime is just so good right now. You don't want anything to tarnish that. So honestly, I think it's gonna be maybe 2 years from now. I think they're gonna get Luna out of beta. But when it does launch, I could see it a part of that. I could see Amazon doing that, just undercutting everybody, just like free. Take the $5 off and it's like totally free. Yeah. So I wouldn't put it past them, honestly. But with all the hirings and stuff, that's good for me. Being a consumer, that's all I base my channel. It's really stuff I look at. And when a company does hirings and they try to bolster their infrastructure, I'll definitely try it. I would even try it just for the consumer part of it. That when I buy stuff, I feel like I can it'll be there in a couple years. So, but I don't think it's gonna be anytime soon. That's just my thing. I just think they're gonna baby this.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good point about soon, right? We talked about it being in beta and how that in a way gives them a free pass. I was thinking about this. What that tells me, right? They don't have to rush anything, because sitting on these numbers, they know when they activate that Luna, Luna and Prime membership, right? Instant, overnight, 136 million people will have access to Luna. So in a way, they can take this sweet old time, make sure that they get Luna where they want it to be before the release. But JTP, I want to hear from you, man. What's your take on this?
Yeah, I tend to side with what Rictone is saying. We've discussed before that in some part or another, Luna will go to Prime, but it's not going to be until it's a fleshed out enough system that the experience is as consistent as we can expect in the next year or two from Cloud. I do think it might be sooner than the 2-year mark, but it's definitely going to be down the road when it's more available, working really well. But they are establishing the right games for it, the right service. Subscription models are going to take off in cloud gaming. And Luna is this great hybrid of ported games to the Luna Plus channel, plus other channels that can come, like Ubisoft is there. And I think you'll see quite a few more channels before it goes to Prime, because they're going to lure you over there with the free, and then you're going to have all these channels you can also sub to, and all these other games you're going to see that you want to play, and it's going to be this avenue to take you into this whole new place where they make lots of money from us. So it's going to happen in one form or another, because you want to tap those over 100 million people and get them to turn eyes for a minute and take a look at it. But in what form and when, that's to be seen.
Yeah, true. And again, I think people are sleeping on Luna, man. This might be something big for them going forward. But let's check in with Gamer. What's your take on this?
I think whenever you boast a number like 130 plus million people, there's only one take. Like, it's smart. You can't throw that to the side and we all out here can sleep on Luna, or whoever else can sleep on Luna, because they know what they have.
Yeah.
Which is why I believe they're moving at the pace they're moving. They're trying to make the right moves, bring the right games, flush out the service, pull all of the metrics and the data analysis that they can on current usage and future usage, because they know they have 130 million plus people. Once they roll out Luna Plus, it's game over. It's like, it'll be fine. Believe me.
So they're just chilling, waiting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They can do that. Like PlayStation, Nintendo, they can do it. They can wait for now. They can slow roll this thing.
Yeah. Not to throw any competitors under the bus, but this is a one-up they have against Google Stadia. I'm just going to be real, right? Stadia came in trying to establish an audience, trying to grow that number, but Amazon really don't have to do that, right? In a way, they're set. They have the numbers. They just have to get the service to where they want it to be, and boom, they can instantly get people on Luna. Anyway,
just one wee tiny thing. Amazon Prime Gaming. There you go as well. Who picks up them free things on Amazon Prime? Like the 3 skins. If I link that into Luna as well, off you go.
And we're not even talking about Twitch too. They have all these things to push that service when it's ready. So again, y'all don't sleep on Luna, man. They're the sleeping giants here, man. Just give them.
Hold on though. Let me hold on with that. But when you look at how many people watch YouTube though, I mean that's more than the Amazon. So it is good, the subscription to Amazon Prime. But come on, my dad has Amazon Prime. He's not playing Luna.
True.
Be honest, right?
Good
so
point.
what percentage of that, you break that down? What percentage of that, but they do have Twitch. They have some leverage, yeah. So overall, I'm not sleeping on Luna, but there's so many hurdles. Man.
Absolutely,
with
I agree.
But Luna's coming.
Yeah, they're coming. But let's just say I get it. That's great. Your dad. It makes a lot of sense. But let's just say about like even 10% of the 136 million.
Yeah.
I mean, that puts them at a pretty good ballpark to just start with, and then again they can continue growing it by marketing and offering promotions. But let's check in with JD, man. What's he take on this?
My take is it's kind of like they're taking a page from Gamepass in a sense where let's get this out. Let's get the Luna out in beta to everybody. Let's just get all the games on the platform. Let's test this out. Let's see how it goes behind the scenes, and then once we're ready, let's roll this into Amazon Prime, and that way you just cast that whole net, kind of like what Game Pass is doing, casting that whole Xbox PC gamer net, and now I can reel in as many people as I possibly can by just throwing this one big old bait in front of people. And I think that's a smart play for Amazon, because they're able to undercut. They can probably even undercut the competition with Prime, depending on how they want to do it, just to get everybody into it, just to say, hey, look at all the games we have on this service, come and check it out, give us a shot.
True. They have so many leverages, man. And I feel like you're right on. Monkey, what's he taking this?
Yeah, listen, I think you guys have sort of like covered it quite good detail already. How do I feel Luna's going to play this? I think they're going to carry on in beta at least until next year. I think they're going to want to, because cloud gaming is not at a stage right now where it has a mass market appeal. It is it's a supplementary thing to, gaming on local hardware. And I think for that reason, Luna's going to just, hang around, slow play it, build up the library, get everything spot on. And then, once the cloud gaming space starts gaining more traction, I think that's when they're just going to roll it out and you know, I love JD's take there. They're just going to cast a big net and just, you know, capture all these consumers. They have them right there for the taking. And Rick, there's absolutely no reason for your dad not to play Luna, by the way. There's absolutely no reason for him not to.
Let him know. You're like, what?
Oh man, cool. All right, so we talked about Luna. Let's shift focus to GeForce Now, and my goodness, guys, this was quite an incredible week for them. And so I'm curious though, because again, we got about like 16 games that was announced for this week alone, and then 61 for the month of May. And you guys know GeForce Now, that's not the final number. They're gonna up it, right, when new games become available and announced. But let's talk about these games. First of all, talk about the 61 games, and then just on top of that, the 16 games. Did any of you guys pick it up? Are you guys excited about it? And did any of you guys play it? So I'm going to open this up to GTP. What's your take on the GeForce Now games and news for this week?
Games. That's what May is all about. And I love that, since January, we get this beginning of the month cap of like roadmap of what's going to happen for the month. But what I like even better is they brag about the additional games they launched a month before and give us a list so that I don't have to go count them and figure it out. And I love it. So 27 extra games in April. You know they're going to probably blow by the 61 in May, even though that's kind of hard to believe. And as always, it's going to be beauty is in the eye of the beholder with the games. There may be people that think all 61 games are, and they don't care. There's going to be people that love it. I think it's pretty great. And as far as this week's 17 games, Hood, which I don't remember where that's listed, but that's did they not have that listed?
They do not
because
have
that's
it
out.
here.
Yeah, it's in the May.
Out.
It's in the May, but it's not up in the listed. I don't know why they did that. But Hood is the one I've grabbed, and MotoGP 21, which I haven't jumped into yet. For GeForce Now, that's the two games I grabbed. But yeah, absolutely awesome. When I saw this when I saw this come out, I was like, wow. 61 games for May. Okay, that's going to take a while. And I literally listed all of them in my video. And yeah, it was tough to get through that.
Insane.
Yeah. Pretty good week for them. So last week they featured heavily on all the features and like the extra stuff we were getting in the browser. And then this week they just slammed the game. So, I mean, they're on a roll. And if they keep this up, it's going to be like 600, 700, 800 games added just this year. No lie by the time they're done.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. But for the 16 games that announced this week, were you satisfied with them?
For me, because I'm counting Hood. That's the main reason. That and MotoGP 21, because I was grabbing that up anyway, so I was happy to see that added on there. So yeah, MotoGP 21 Hood, I was happy with that. Steep from Steam was another good one to throw in there. If anybody hasn't played on Steep or slept on that game,
is great.
You missed out. Yeah, definitely.
And Alan Wake is still an incredible game, guys.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't played that game,
you can't complain about Alan Wake coming either. It's I don't know. I was pretty happy to see this whole roadmap for May, but also this week was pretty strong too.
Yeah, I agree. I'll get to my take in a bit, but let's check in with Duncan. What's your take on the GeForce Now news for this week?
The GeForce Now news for this week is absolutely brilliant. I've rated it a 7 so far before any of the other games come at this moment in time. There is a massive shadow being cast with Resident Evil not being a GFN. I think it's just quite right to actually say that. That is a big missing game. That is the big game of the week. But they've got the second biggest game in Hood releasing this week, so that is something. But I think this is absolutely brilliant. And what I like about the games is, and if Holtz was here, he would be maybe saying something. It's not all PC sort of centric games, the simulators, the strategy games. For me, if you go through this list, there is an absolute ton of what I would count like as console sort of games. You've got games you would play on Xbox and PlayStation here, which is absolutely brilliant. And they've actually picked up a number of games where people have been crying out for. We've got Alan Wake this week. We've got one for Hell Monkey, and I'm going to butcher the name, Assetto Corsa. Yes.
Yep. Oh.
which is a big racing game. You've got Call of Juarez, you've got Pine as well, which is the free game in Epic. This week, I think, has been brilliant, and it's great to see the amount of games coming and putting it onto the other stores. I've got zero problem with that. More options is always better. But I think this has been a real good week for GFN, and the games coming up. We're going to be touching on these as and when they come out. But we've got Hood, which was announced, is coming later in the month, and I know there's another couple of games there which are pretty good. Rhyme's coming. Rhyme, if you haven't played Rhyme, it is definitely one to be checking out as well.
Yeah. So go ahead.
And I'm not going to make the joke about MotoGP.
Gosh. Cool. All right, Rictone, man, what's your take on these games, man?
Man, there's one game I saw on there, man.
Which one?
Alan Wake, baby.
Tell people about this game, bro.
Listen, I love Alan Wake. I love it. Yeah. I love it, man. When I saw that, I'm like, these are some games that I really want to get back into, but sometimes you don't have the time, and I'm like, oh my god, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to download that. Yeah, I'm totally interested in this, man. This was awesome to see. Alan Wake was just great. It was just atmospheric, used a lot of lighting, and I mean, obviously, this doesn't have like ray tracing. This is an older game, but it just, to me, it just seems like it. It just, because the lighting effect is so good, the particle effects. Use the flashlight as a weapon, and I'm telling you, anyone, if you got the chance, and GFN, that's the thing, is great. I have a Mac, so I don't have any gaming capability. Supposedly you can download Steam on a Mac, but I wouldn't do it. Just heating issues, I wouldn't do it. But if you, unless you got money to get another Mac, but nah, to me, that's the only game I saw. It was like the list was like 60 something games, but once I saw Alan Wake, I just geeked out, man. Come on, Google, get that on there. The whole series.
Guys. By the way, guys, the PC version of that game runs pretty well. Looks good. I think it's updated from the console release of the game. So don't think like you get, the Xbox graphics of the previous generation. It actually looks pretty good on PC. So again, good get, man. Good get. All right, so JD, what's your take on these games coming to the Geforce Now platform?
Man, when I saw the list and I saw BG&E, I was like, I'm waiting for the sequel, but I would definitely be playing that. I have it on Steam, so to be able to stream that on Geforce Now, man, that's definitely something I'm going to try out here soon. That's what stood out to me.
I missed this. I didn't even know that Beyond Good. Oh, shoot. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was on sale. They had a sale. I think I brought it for like $5, man. And I was like, oh, yep.
Wow. All right. So can we say shout outs to them real quick? Again, we'll get to me in a bit, but something that, again, Holtz, if he was here, he'll say, but we've been asking them to bring games that left or all the games back. And Beyond Good and Evil, Alan Wake, those are great games for the Geforce Now platform that are older. It's good to see them coming back to the platform. So shout outs to them on that. But Gamer TV, what's your take on this, man?
I won't add a whole lot. I think you guys touched on most of it really, really well. But I will say 60 plus games in 1 month, 17 per, this week, and I'm sure they'll keep that going. It's tough to contend with Geforce Now right now in terms of, content. These guys are cranking out content for everybody.
Yep.
And me personally, I picked up MotoGP 21, and obviously Alan Wake already has that. I can't wait to get in. I just don't know if I have enough time to truly, jump into Geforce Now the way I'd like to.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot.
A ton, man.
Sure.
A ton.
Sure. Yeah. How about you, Hellmonkey? What's your take on these games, man?
Absolutely incredible. I'm really excited for Assetto Corsa. As you guys know, I've not got a lot of space left on my PC. A set of Corsa Competizione was already on there, so getting the previous title on there now is fantastic. Hitman 2, I think that was quite highly requested, Silent Assassin, to come on there. So that's great. And just on the front of Hood, on the subject of Hood, I believe that wasn't announced for this week because technically it was releasing on the 10th, which is Monday.
That's true.
But if you pre-purchased, you could get access to it a few days earlier. So I think that's why it wasn't in there until the rest of the month's games. But yeah, we've been playing it and it's absolutely fantastic. And what Duncan said, not having Resident Evil is quite disappointing, but I don't see a lot of Capcom games on GeForce Now. To be honest, any modern Capcom games, I don't think, just off the top of my head. That and not getting Metro Exodus PC Enhanced Edition is the only two downfalls this week. Other than that, listen, there's got to be someone there for there's got to be something there for everyone coming this month. I'm interested. I've got Outlast 2 in my Steam library, so I am excited for that to come, even though it's all just dropped on xCloud as well, but we'll get to that later.
So I have to say again, shout outs to the GeForce Now team. And you guys have heard me talk about the week release. This was not a week release. I mean, so many good games on here. I don't know if they're watching this. I know they don't, but I don't know if they listen as much as what games they get. But this, hands down, is a really impressive week. Again, I think Duncan would say they have something for everyone. If you're a racing guy, race. If you want competitive online game, it's on here. An adventure game is on here. So shout outs. I'm really impressed. Again, they missed Resident Evil, but I feel like they made up a lot by their selection. And 61 games for this month alone. Shout outs to you guys, man. It's incredible. So overall, I would say good stuff for GeForce Now for this month and this week. It's insane. It's insane. They put out, check this, they put out more games in a week's time than other platforms put out in a month's time.
Yeah.
Fair enough to say? You look you look at like Luna's is what, 5 games for the month of May. You look at Gamepass games is what, like 8, 9. I mean, 16 in 1 week is absolutely incredible. So good stuff.
And I want to say,
like,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I feel like they have a decent roadmap they know of that we don't, because they have committed pretty much to 15 games a week, between 10 and 15 minimal for the rest of the year.
Yeah, that's true.
When they came out in the beginning of the year and started this monthly thing, and they said basically we've bettered our onboarding system, and we're going from about 10 to 15 games a week for the remainder. So I was like, wow. I started doing the math. I'm like, okay, there's going to be a lot of games we don't care about, but there's going to be a ton of gems in there too. That's a lot of games to commit to every single week. True. Agreed. Someone was going to say something else?
Yeah, it was me. I was just saying, I think GeForce Now is the greatest competitor, or the strongest competitor to Xbox in their Game Pass, in their PC thing, just because Xbox is trying to merge, you can have it on Xbox Store on your PC, and you can do it on your Xbox, but Game Pass, or GeForce Now, are saying all the games that you own on Steam, PC, Epic, you already own them. We're going to bring it to this platform, and you can stream them from anywhere. I think they have the greatest chance at being the most successful, getting all of the games on that platform. Like, once they do that, it's like, because now you have the purpose of cloud gaming, right, is like, I could pick a game out of, whenever I want to. Oh, this old game, BG&E. Oh, let me play that for an hour. Oh, this new game, if they get Resident Evil 8. Oh, let me pick that out the cloud real quick. Let me play that. And having that library, which is bigger than Stadia's library, bigger than PS Now's library. Like it's crazy, and especially if PlayStation allows some of their exclusives to be on GeForce Now. They say they get Horizon Zero Dawn on there on GeForce Now, which Xbox will probably won't get on Game Pass. That's a threat, I think.
Huh. I mean, they got Dead Stranding, right? That was the Sony exclusive. So, yeah, Windows PC games, they missed Detroit Become Human.
Right.
But yeah, and Horizon. But Days Gone should be coming out pretty soon. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can land that on the GeForce Now platform. But yeah, agreed. Okay, cool. Anyone else want to add anything else to GeForce Now? If not, we will move on. All right, let's move on to Google Stadia. So let's shout out Stadia real quick before we get into some of the negative stuff. Which
Negative? There's no negative in Stadia. What are you talking about?
It's all good, man.
It's all good love. It's all good love. But we gotta talk. We're gonna get to shout out too. We'll talk to shout. We always, we gotta give everyone their take here. All right, so Stadia, good stuff. May 4th, Star Wars, May the 4th be with you. They dropped a pro game. It's so crazy because this was a no-brainer if you really thought about it. But to me, I was like, there's no way. So check this, right? EA beat Ubisoft on bringing the first pro game to the platform. There still has not been one Ubisoft pro game on Stadia. And EA brought the first pro game. But I think that was a deal made with the 5 games coming. Anywho, pretty cool. Star Wars, Fallen Jedi, whatever the hell that game is called. I can never get it right. But yeah, Fallen Jedi, that game, right, became something that pro members got for free for this week. So let's start there. What's your take on that? Do you feel like it was a good get? That game is awesome. Again, some people might complain it doesn't run the best in Stadia, but I think it looks good enough, and I think it was a great get. But I'm going to open up to JTP. What's your take on that game coming to Stadia for pro members?
So I actually didn't expect it to happen because it made sense, and it did happen. We did get the Star Wars Pro game on May the 4th. So absolute kudos to Stadia for having a decent promotion happen, and I thought it was really cool. I already had Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order from Stadia, and had played it on there. Yeah, it is not the best performing game on Stadia, but for cloud, it's okay. It's good enough. I've done a lot of side by side, and it's a little rough for me personally, but it's a great grab for pro and for people to be. I don't know if there's anybody that hasn't played it. If you're a Star Wars fan, you played that game already, but it was great to see it come onto there. So yeah, it was no complaints from me on that.
Okay, fair enough. How about you, Gamer TV? I heard you say a little. Let's get into this.
I mean, the game is extremely rough, man. It's especially if you compare it to other platforms. That's number one. But if we accept the fact that, hey, it's a cloud platform, then you're willing to have a little bit of leeway between quality and performance, right? But I played it locally on my PC, and it's phenomenal. I mean, it looks gorgeous, runs great. God, I love it. Played it on Stadia, and I've completed it on Stadia as well. I appreciate the 60 frames per second, appreciate the fact that they went 1080p to achieve the 60 frames, but the textures were just muddy and it's nasty. So if you play it on Stadia and that's your only option, then it's good for you. It's good. But if you have another option, I wouldn't recommend it on Stadia, period. But it's a smart promotion, good move by Google. Kudos to them, like you said.
Yeah. So I wonder, someone was saying the engine might be why this game looks rough on Stadia. Because again, you look at the other ports with FIFA and Madden, and those ports are pretty good, right? But Star Wars, and then Star Wars was the first game, so you have that to take into consideration too. But just real quick, since we have you on here, what do you think happened with that port?
Different teams. different engines, obviously, but and some things just don't translate over well because it's EA. I mean, they have multiple teams working on their different IPs. So the similar guys work on Madden. I mean, the same type of engines there. So you can expect a certain level of performance, but for Star Wars, I don't even know what the engine is there, but it isn't similar at all. So different challenges, different people, and and we don't know the time constraints. They could have made it better 100%, but was it worth it for them? I don't know. Can't call that one.
I think someone said they were used. Was it Frostbite for Star Wars? Wait, I can't remember either. All right, well, someone in the chat, if you guys know what engine is being
Unreal
used.
4.
Was it Unreal?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Frostbite is fine. I mean, Frostbite it looks great on Stadia. They that translates over very nicely.
Pretty well.
Yeah.
So you think that makes it? What other Unreal 4 port has we seen in Stadia, and how did that turn out? Anyone?
I believe it's Doom and Unreal 4. I'm not sure.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I think Doom is. Yeah, I don't know for sure, but it's a time thing, man. It's hey, how do we transition over, the texture maps from here to there, and it if they choose to invest the right amount of time in it, then it'll be great. If not, then it'll be what we have, something that works and performs well, but isn't the best to look at all the time.
Okay, fair enough. Thanks for the input. Let's check in with JD. What's your take on Google Stadia again? This is a pro game this month.
It was a smart move for them to get that. I already brought the game. Before he went on Pro. That's what seems to be the little bit of issue with Stadia Pro. But it's a smart move, and especially with May 4th just happened and everybody was celebrating Star Wars and still in that mindset. It's like, oh, hey, Star Wars game, let me go ahead and check this out. So I kind of agree it's probably not the best place to play it on, but if you got the Pro membership, hey, you can check it out.
True. Cool. Duncan, what's your take on this, man?
I'm with Jerry. I'm just in general shock that they had the marketing nice to put it out on Star Wars Day. I thought I was going, it makes sense. It's going to happen. It's Stadia. It's not going to happen. But it's Star Wars Day and they're delaying it. So I'm just really happy they actually dropped it on that day, and I'm glad people can enjoy it. With the point regarding EA have got a game before Ubisoft, you can spin this any way you want. I'm just putting it out there. I don't think we're going to see an Ubisoft game because of Ubisoft Plus, because it takes away the value of Ubisoft Plus. So if you've got a load of Ubisoft games as a pro games, what's the point of buying the subscription? So that's why I think we're going to very rarely, if ever, see an Ubisoft game. So this opens up the question: does this mean we're not going to see EA play on Stadia?
Ooh,
I think we will see EA play.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if we don't see EA play. Really surprised. Now the question is: are we going to see EA play in Stadia before we see that's in Amazon Luna channel? I think Luna's gonna get EA Play hands down, or EA's channel eventually, right? So it's gonna be interesting to see who gets it first. But let's check in with Rictone though. What's your take on?
Huge gap, man. In my opinion, I think it was good. It was good thing about cloud gaming, and I think what Stadia has over all the cloud gaming is mindshare. People always talking about Stadia, good or bad, and if you know anything about business, you just want people to be talking about you, because someone's gonna buy it, someone's gonna enjoy your product, no matter what. So I think it was good. Everybody was saying, "May the 4th be with you." It was a way to know who's a geek, like in real life. Somebody that came up to me and said, "May the 4th be with you." They probably didn't know, think I knew what it was, but I was like, "Yeah, May the 4th be with you, Padawan." And it was like so many geeks that you didn't know you met in real life. Yeah. So yeah, it was pretty cool. I think it's a huge gap. For me, it played great. I don't know. I don't have a huge rig or maybe I don't know. My needs are just what wasn't too bad. I thought it looked great, but I never played it anywhere else. So yeah, that has a lot to
Yeah.
do with it. Yeah. So when I compare cloud gaming and other things, yeah, my main game is like Destiny. So I played that a lot in console. So I know how that looks on other things. But
Yeah.
with this one, it was just I was pretty new to it. It looked great to me. I played it. I enjoyed it. But
Yeah.
it
So
was huge.
right. So something I learned with the panel members here, right? And I think Chief and JTP talked about this. I love how a game looks on Stadia, right? But they were saying if you only play on Stadia, then don't look at anything else and you'll be good. If you start looking at, that's why I feel sorry for you guys, GTP and Chief and Gamer TV, because you guys can never settle for how decent Stadia is. Just being real, right? But no, just realistically, don't play it anywhere, and you should be good. I thought the game ran well and looked incredible, and then Chief was like, "Ace, stop! Like, look, compare it to
Yeah.
something. Look at my comparison." I was like, "Damn it!" Right? But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the joke here, man. Just enjoy
Yeah,
it
once
on Stadia, man.
Once you do
And
the
oh, yeah.
comparison videos, it's like, oh, I'm missing out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
'Cause I got the
It's crazy.
Series X now, and yeah, certain things like especially if you take advantage of the 120 FPS, I do see it. But for me, gaming is I'm not really big into that. But I know for some people, yeah, it definitely plays a part, which is fine. You're a
Yeah,
consumer. It's you're paying for that product to work. But it worked fine for me. Yeah,
good.
single player games for me, it's all good. But multiplayer, nah, I can't go to foolishness. I can't.
So you can't play multiplayer games in Stadia?
I can. Like I've done hours raids. Me and JD been in Destiny
I
raids for
can say that.
hours. We've lived on the raid, like just
Yeah.
struggling. But no, it
Struggling.
worked. It works.
Okay.
But I just say no. When I say struggling, not performance. I mean because the game's hard. Not. I don't mean
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
But no, it's just like finding people. That's one. Like consistently finding people, and then performance. Like you're playing with a random person, and then you're lagging. If it's your friend, they don't mind, but yeah, just PvP and stuff. I tend to go to a dedicated machine,
Interesting.
but not no slighting and say that it does work. I could play a PvP match right now and do very good, but that's the only thing for me. So
Oh,
yeah, I don't look at performance, but yeah, multiplayer, I'll be like maybe I should buy it somewhere else.
interesting.
And with devs also, they're not doing a great job updating games. The what's it called, NBA 2K has been a
Oh my
mess.
goodness.
Yeah.
You know,
Let's not. Let's
So,
not. Yeah.
2K, Borderlands 3 is
Jeez.
not getting updated.
Outriders.
Outriders is not getting
but things like
updated.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Things like that. Yeah.
I'll say for
Mobile-
F1.
F1 2020. Yeah.
420.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
yeah, and we pay the same amount of money. It's kind of a bummer that they don't take Stadia with updates seriously, which
Yeah.
it sucks. It sucks.
Well, that's
Right.
why we do the comparisons, right? I mean, for
Exactly.
that,
We
for
need
that
you
$60, man. For that $60, hey, you can try it here.
Yo, yeah, it saves people money, man. It gives you guys a good look on what runs it the best. By the way, they updated Outriders to 1.04. Anyone tested any difference with performance or visuals? Just throwing this is random. It's not in the show notes.
Yeah, no visual boosts. Performance, it's a tad bit better, but you can't really tell much. They've introduced new bugs at this point. So
no.
I mean, there are a few problems there with your inventory. Items still show up as new, even if you've looked at them and exited the game. When you come back, you have all the same items still new in your inventory. So just little small nuances and annoyances. And I believe this generally affects everyone.
Yeah.
So
But
not only
Rick-
does it affect Stadia, it affects everyone.
yeah,
Yeah, Rictone
Outriders
lost
is
his
a mess.
inventory, right?
Yeah, just got it back 4 weeks.
Wow.
4 weeks they took to get the
Jeez.
inventory wipe. The game, yeah, the game is a lot of stuff. I mean, I'm playing it all the time, but it's definitely rough. It's not polished, but the gameplay is great.
Yeah.
Fun
Yeah.
is hard to equate fun.
Yeah, which is kind of problematic for me because again, if this game is struggling elsewhere, we know that that's going to be right the priority to patch those games up elsewhere. Who knows when they're going to get to? I mean, how long did it take for us to just get 1.04, and that's not even the latest patch, right? So when yeah, that's going to be an issue. This game is buggy. A lot of people will tell you that, but I feel like Stadia is a disadvantage again because they're going to be focusing on other platforms to patch it. Stadia is going to get like the last of it, which
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
Yep. Don't say that. Don't say that, Ace. They're gonna come for you.
And there's a
Right,
really bad
seriously.
bug right now with one hit kills. Like you can have full health and out of nowhere you're dead. You know, just one slap, one hit, you're
Jeez.
dead. And if that lasts, a long period of time on Stadia, I'm not sure how many people will, enjoy the end game too much.
Yeah,
It's true.
true.
Man, I still enjoy my time with that game though. I've put in like 4 hours and I keep telling myself like I have that to play Judgment and Resident Evil. And out of those three for Stadia, that's the game I always want to go back to playing. I don't know why. It's just it seems fun, it seems brilliant, and yeah. We'll see. Hopefully they patch it up and performance wise it can match other places. But Monkey, what's your take on this, man?
I think we have a mini cyberpunk on my hands with this game. The devs have completely fluffed the launch. I haven't even went back to it after it first launched. I don't like to, big myself up, but I seen this coming with the demo. The demo had so many problems as well.
Yeah.
And that I was playing a demo on PC, and usually that's a go-to place for performance. And it was absolutely dreadful. There was something different every day. The servers were down. And I just feel because it's not a big AAA title, not much has been made of it. Just on the front against Stadia patch, though, because of the problems that they have across the board, of course they're going to favour PC, of course they're going to favour the consoles because that's where they're going to make their money. They need to get them up and running first. So when the user base is so low as it is on Stadia, you're going to be behind quite significantly. And because they have got so much to do, because it's been such a bad release, Stadia's just they're gonna get left behind, unfortunately, right now. Which is what it is. There's nothing you can do. All we can hope for is that they make a better job of the next game they release, and it's not nowhere near as dreadful as this one has been, because it is. It's been absolutely dreadful and really not acceptable.
True. And Square Enix, man, please, get the ports right, man. Again, Gamer TV talked about this. I believe you're when you guessed, you were saying, right? Where's the miscommunication with breakdowns? How can a game run so well like Cyberpunk, and another game? Like what's going on internally for Stadia? And why can't they just get these ports right?
Yeah.
Square Enix have had several games in Stadia now. You would think that they can get this going, they can figure it out, but we're still seeing them run to issue. And yeah, Monkey and Witty, I hope they can figure this out, fix this, and get some more decent ports on here, right? So again, I want to talk about Resident Evil 8, which is another port. I like the game. I think it runs good. I'm curious to see what other members have to say. I think we got 60 FPS here. Again, I haven't played it elsewhere. I'm gonna throw it out there, but I know Jerry, what you said you've spent how many hours on so you're probably gonna have a lot to say. But my take with this is I'm loving it. It runs great. I'm gonna open it up to you guys and see what y'all have to say. Let's start with Rictone. Have you touched this game on Stadia, and how was the performance for you?
I played the demo.
Okay.
We're talking about 8. We're talking about Village, right?
Yeah, Village.
7. Okay, yeah. I played the demo. It played great for me.
Okay.
I know it's a dark game. Certain parts can be dark. I wasn't like looking for any imperfections. For me, it's a gameplay. Well, single player games, I forgive a lot. I'm very forgiving with single player games. because I'm not affecting anyone else. But so if it plays as good as the demo plays on the full game, and I've been watching some streams of it,
yeah,
it looks great. I think you'll have a great time there. Games like that is about the experience, about the jump scare.
yeah.
It's about managing your bullets and things like that. So I don't think, to me personally, I don't think that can performance can destroy that. I mean, unless you're like straight up hitching or something. But it looked good to me, and I think it's a good go. I think it's worth the promotion.
Okay. Great. The story is pretty incredible too, and it's a follow-up to 7V. So I'm gonna save JTP and Gamer TV for last because I don't want them to poop on my parade, man. All right, so let's get to JD on this one.
Oh man, you can skip right over me. I don't play Resident Evil. I think I only played Resident Evil 4. That's the only one I
Yo,
played.
the best one.
Stop
right there.
That was it. That was it. Stop right there, and I'm done. But it from what I've seen some Stadia members play it. It looks pretty nice. From what I can tell, it looks. Not as good as the other platforms, but it looks real. Like Rictone said, like it's a single player game. As long as it's hitting those 60 FPS, man, you should be good to go.
Okay, good. Duncan, what's your take on this?
I have not bought this game for two reasons. One, I'm not buying games in Stadia, and the second reason, it's a tenner dearer than everywhere else over here in the UK. So it is ridiculous money over here, I feel, because you can get the deluxe edition on this for the same price as on PlayStation and on Xbox, and I don't need another controller or Chromecast at this moment in time either. It would be just going to waste. It would be just sitting in a box somewhere. Going back to your previous point about why do some games run better and some games don't, I can give you 10 million reasons why Resident Evil is running better on Stadia than everywhere else. They have paid for it. They paid for Cyberpunk. They paid the big bucks for it, and you can see with the contract which was leaked out there, they had to hit certain targets for Resident Evil. So that is why it is running. Again, I'm probably going to be made fun of here by Jerry and Gamer TV here when they say it runs awful. But from what I have seen, it appears to be a good port for Stadia. Would that be the best way of saying it? Yes, we'll go for that. That's why it looks like it's a good port for Stadia. It's because they've paid the big bucks to bring it across, which they should be doing for all these titles to get the library going.
But they paid big money for EA games to come, and we see Star Wars not running that well. So what happened? Again, I think we said it was the engine possibly, but what happened with that, right? Because again, Google paid some big money for EA games in there.
I think they would maybe pay bigger money for FIFA than Madden and Jedi Fallen Order.
True. I mean, good point. Again, it's okay. Fair enough.
Maybe setting them up for the next year's version, so they would be more important in the longer run. Because I still think we're getting FIFA and Madden this year's versions on Stadia, all being well.
Okay.
So there we go.
Let's see how that all plays out. But Hell Monkey, what's your take on this, man?
Yeah, I think everyone knows I didn't have a good experience with the demo. For whatever reason, anytime I tried to play the demo, it was lagging, it was dropping frames. I think maybe the servers were just overloaded at the time, and it was pushing me maybe further away than I needed to be. And it just put me off the game. I wanted to try the demo, see what the game was like, because usually Resident Evil isn't my sort of thing. But, the hype got me here, and I was like, yeah, okay, let's give this a try. The werewolves and everything is great. I like the vampire werewolf, that sort of lore and TV and movies. So I was kind of interested in that. But yeah, and like Duncan said as well, it's so expensive on Stadia. But just on the point of, comparing it with other platforms, yes, it's a good port for Stadia. And I think it's good to compare Stadia to the hardware and just... Because since we started doing it and since this channel began, you see the progression that's happening. The games are getting better. and it's improving all the time. And I like the fact that Stadia signed a deal and they said, these are the targets, minimum, we're not accepting any less. I think they have to do more of that. I think they have to have more stringent measures in place when it comes to the games coming, to give us consumers the best possible experience.
Okay. Right. So we get into y'all, JTP and Gamer TV. Chat, I just want to give y'all a disclaimer. It's not going to be pretty moving forward. So if y'all want to check out, you can right now. All right, go ahead, GTP. Thoughts?
All right, Gamer TV will probably be harsher than me, so I'm gonna be really nice. Just as Gamer said in the beginning, local hardware is the way to go for Resident Evil 8, especially.
You call that being nice?
Yeah. But that's not a surprise because, I'm local hardware first, then cloud anyways. But okay. I mean, I've played the first 2 hours of the game 8 times, and I've got more to go. So that's 16 hours of the first 2 hours of the game, and I'm pretty burnt out on it. But so the positive is one of my favorite ports to Stadia so far. Judgment was one of them, but Judgment wasn't really next gen. Mm-hmm. But Resident Evil 8, just like Hellmonkey, the demo, I had such a horrible time with it, and I had to keep retrying until it finally ran good for me. That's a problem, the consistency issue. When the game first launched, I think me and Ace both got on like within a minute of it launching. So it was like 9 p.m. for you and 12 a.m. for me. And I was up until 2 a.m. doing that first video. Yeah. And when I first got on, it was a stuttery mess. And I was like, no, Ace is going to be done before me. This is ridiculous. You can't stutter. He's going to tell me it's running great. I hate to hear this. So like, this is what I hate about cloud. I'm sitting here. It's like 12:20 a.m. and I'm cursing at my screen. My wife's asleep. And I'm just like, I've had it. So I logged off. I gave it 5 minutes. I got back on, and wouldn't you know, it was the smoothest freaking experience. And I started recording and going at it. And that for me is that's an issue that I know it happens, but it's not always just with newly released games either. Sometimes games that have been out, you go, and this happens. But compared to local, it's not quite there. Visually, I after spending all that time in Stadia and jumping over to Series X or to the PC, I was like, oh yeah, that's why I play local. Good God, that feels so good, and the game looks so good. But as a Stadia port and running in the cloud, super, super impressive. And while I'm with Duncan that I don't really recommend buying games on Stadia right now, while we see how things are panning out, if you are a person like Holtz, who could care less if whatever happens, he just wants to buy the games and play them while he can, or if you're like somebody else who thinks they're going to be around, that's great. Go buy it, play it. I think it's doing really well. It's one of my favorite ports so far. But yeah, local hardware still, but it's to be expected. Why would anyone think cloud's going to beat local hardware anytime soon? That's not the point of the comparisons.
So Clive wants a breakdown when you say
local hardware. So Series S is not too bad and close with Stadia. It's doing well. Series X is blowing it out of the water with or without ray tracing. My local PC, which is not as high end anymore, is only an RTX 2060. That's your entry level RTX card that you could get and still could get your hands on. And I can play that game at maxed out graphics, 1440p, ray tracing and everything, even crushing console and Stadia at over 60 FPS with that RTX 2060. So, yeah.
Oh.
Okay, gamers, yours.
I like the honesty. You guys, I like this channel.
Gotta keep it real, man. Gotta keep it real,
man. Keep it real, down the middle. I mean, the truth is, this port for Stadia is excellent for Stadia, and that's if you solely play on Stadia and you will not even think about playing this game elsewhere locally, then it's amazing for you. It's a great get for Stadia. Their money is well spent here. Now, in comparison to local hardware, as Jerry said, Series X, PS5, Series S, PC, just do not compare them because it doesn't hold up. It doesn't hold up, and you can quickly see, the difference between a 4K, true 4K port and an upscaled 4K port that's more like a native 1080 to 1440. Maybe peaking at 1620 for Stadia, but this game is not 4K. It is. I mean, natively it isn't 4K upscaled. Yes, with Pro, but natively it is not 4K. It does run very well at 60 frames per second, although it dips more than any other platform, mind you. I'd have to say it dropped as low as 48 frames per second in some scenes, whereas hardware, Series X, PS5, Series S, you're hitting 60 frames per second probably 99% of the time, the whole way through. And if you're a stickler and you really want to sit there and count every single frame, then yeah, that 0.01%, yeah, it'll drop. But outside of that, those are the biggest differences between the two. Again, not taking anything away from Stadia, but if you solely play on Stadia, this is probably the best game on the platform port-wise for you, period.
So I not gonna watch y'all's comparison videos. I'm just gonna play what I know, and so far I'm having a good old jolly time. But I appreciate the work that you and GTP and Chief does, man. Shout outs to you guys again. Like Rictone was saying, honesty, right? It shows Stadia might not be the best place to play, but if it's all you have, you can still have a great experience.
Let me add for everyone too, these comparisons that everybody does, Chief, myself, Gamer, and all of them, these are consumer-friendly comparisons to help you see what's going on out there, what these games are running like. A lot of it's just for fun because we're nerds and we love gaming and tech, so why the hell aren't we going to compare them? That's what we're supposed to do because it's fun. It's never, at least on my channel, never, ever a bash on any platform. Stadia, Geforce Now, Luna, Cloud in general, ever. These comparisons are fun. They help consumers. They show you what's going on out there. And more importantly, they show you how darn far Cloud has come. It really does show that it's coming a long way. This stuff is never, ever a bash.
That was going to be my point is, if you go back to your very first comparisons, yourself and Chief, and, GMR TV, you'll see the same. You'll see how far the development on cloud has come. It's probably progressing quicker than what the last generation consoles were, in terms of quality. But that's just because of the tools that developers have at their disposal right now. And it's great to see that Resident Evil Village has succeeded. Judgment in being the best port. Like, Judgment was the best port a couple of weeks ago. Now it's Resident Evil Village 8. What we got to come next, is that going to be even better? I hope so. I really do hope so. Because cloud is going to be the way to game in the future, without a shadow of a doubt. And it's great to see it evolving all the time.
True. Well said. Good point. All right, so I said earlier we'll start with positive, but we also have some negative news with Stadia. And I just want to throw this out there to see what the panel have to say with all these people leaving, right? I just want to get a touch up. We kind of did this when the first party studio closed. We got y'all's reaction as to where do you see Stadia end of the year? And Duncan, I think JTP y'all gave it 6 months to live. Crazy. But we'll
6 months to a year. 6 months
it goes down like
to a
that.
year. Yeah. So
I like when people being real. I love it.
So with this news, again, you see multiple people leaving. You heard about Jun Justice leaving. Let's kind of look at this again. What's going on with Stadia? Where do you guys see Stadia going? How long are you guys giving it? So I'm just gonna open up. Actually, we'll pick people. So let's start with JTP.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, and just to clarify, and I don't know about Duncan, although we are pretty close in thinking on this. When I say 6 months to a year about Stadia, I always want to clarify. I'm not saying Stadia is dying or dead ever. I'm saying a rebrand or a refocus or rolling into YouTube subscription and becoming like YouTube gaming. I don't know what they're ultimately going to do with this product moving forward. It has a ton of potential, obviously, on the commercial side to lease this out to companies for their games. But there's going to be changes and morphs that have to come along with this. And I just don't know what Stadia is going to look like 6 months to a year from now. But going into your question, the problem is the optics just look so rough. And while I still enjoy testing Stadia, playing on there, I still think it's probably one of the best cloud gaming products you could offer to somebody, but getting someone on Stadia is like trying to tie them down and get them to try it. It's difficult. Ace, you have tricked some people in. You've gotten some people into Stadia that enjoy it. I've gotten a couple of people in, but they have had a horrible time. And just optically, from SG&E closing to loss of people and employees, from layoffs, and from, in my opinion, lack of transparency about what the future holds for Stadia and the consumers, I don't think coming out and closing their first-party studio and then giving us a 100-game roadmap was the answer to that statement.
So what do you think the answer? What do you think the answer could have been?
So I don't think their answer would have been to come out and be honest with the consumer about where they're headed, because it's so much more than just the games that are coming out when you're a new platform trying to build. So there's two sides to this coin of everyone leaving. Are we getting a shift in people to try to change the marketing and image and get Stadia ready for the next stage or the next push? Or are people leaving because they've lost confidence and passion in the product and they want to move on to working on something they do care about? I'm not going to claim to know that, but optically, just watching this whole year, it's been a rough year for Stadia. We've had some great pro months. We've had some great games come. We're seeing the best ports. But then on the other side of things, we're seeing things that tell the consumer this platform may not be around for the long haul, just with these things that are happening. So it's just, to me, up in the air, and we just don't know enough to make those kind of decisions. We just have to watch where it goes. I think Stadia does still become something else. I don't think it ever just disappears. But there's something has to happen. It's not profitable for Google right now. It's even Resident Evil 8, they're losing millions of dollars to bring us that game, which is great for the consumer, but eventually they've got to be making the money or the product doesn't work. And are they willing to invest for years and years and years or not? We haven't been told that. We don't know what Google's ultimate vision for Stadia is, and that worries me. And that's why Duncan doesn't want to buy his games there, because he wants to know next year or in 2023 he can still go play them. And that's just the confidence issue right now.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you, Wycliffe. I want to save Duncan GTP again for last. JD, man, talk to me. What's your take on all these people leaving?
It's with Haven Studios. I said this before, man. It's basically just another sign on the door for PlayStation. No one left Montreal. You know, it was Ubisoft, then it was SG&E, and now it's PlayStation. Like, so it makes sense that all of those people associated with Haven and Jade are still at the same studio. So that doesn't surprise me. John Justice leaving. It's just the optics, like you guys were saying earlier, man. It's just, with all these things, it makes you kind of like be like, I wonder what's going to happen to this platform. But for me, I'm going to ride it out to it closes. That's what it is for me. And I also agree with, I was able to get some people over to Stadia, but my friend, he just hit me back and said, hey, I canceled my pro because with the home experience, and this is the thing with any type of cloud gaming service, with Xbox and PlayStation or even Nintendo to a certain extent, once you hook it up to like your home screen, your big 4K TV, you get that home theater experience, and you get the PlayStation 5, you get that new controller in your hand. It's hard to be like, let me go back to
Stadia.
Let me go back to Stadia. And especially if you're not on the go, if you're not traveling, which a lot of people are not right now because of what's going on, it almost make it like, well, I don't need Stadia at this point. I don't need to use it. So yeah.
It's interesting. My experience is so different, right? Again, I owned a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox, and the convenience factor of cloud gaming, just being able to play like here in my basement, upstairs bedroom, on living room, I feel like, to me, that is more next gen enough than sitting in front of my TV with a PlayStation 5 controller and playing. So I don't know. People have their take, but I know I'm sacrificing like quality, But to me, the convenience factor, I mean, see all these controllers back here. I'm always on the go playing, right? So that's my preferred way of playing. But yeah, I see where you're coming from, though.
Yeah, I mean,
100%.
I'm military. In case people don't know, like I'm active duty right now, and so I'm always on the go. I was so surprised when Stadia came out. I was in Japan, and I was playing it in Japan in a hotel on military base. I was like, oh, this is going to be great when I get back to the States, and it was.
Yeah.
And so being able to have that, like you said, convenience when you're traveling and not having to bring, like, I don't want to bring my $500 PlayStation with me. You know what I'm saying? And risk something going on with that. So it's definitely convenience, but for some people, they're not traveling like that or moving around as much. So it's almost like, man, I got my Xbox, I'm cool.
Yeah. Excited. Hear you. How about you, Rictone? What's your take? This news.
My take, okay, with people leaving and John Justice, I think it does mean something. For me, I'm leaning towards the company's moving to a different direction, and those people that are leaving don't agree. Because John Justice to me was like, he was really enthusiastic about it. Every time I watched an interview with him, I was like, man, this is gonna be it. I was sold when I heard him speak, even more than Phil Harrison. Because Phil Harrison's pretty monotone. You know what I'm saying? He just company speak guy. He does his thing. It's great. Hey, kudos to him. But I'm not gonna play after hearing him talk. But John Justice was the guy to me. I was like, man, if Phil steps down, maybe he would be the next guy. But him leaving, it was sad, because I kind of feel like I don't know what's going on. So yeah, I'm glad that people are being candid, man. This is good. So this is like a channel for me as a consumer. I could come to this channel just to see things down the line because so you can't go everywhere for that. But for me to hear all the comparisons, I really appreciate that. But for me, I think it does mean something. I haven't bought anything on the platform. I'll just be honest, in a while either, because I'm thinking about it. And I've been honest. I've told people I don't have Stadia Pro, but I'm more like when I play, I use Ubisoft Plus or something. But it doesn't mean you don't like Stadia if you don't have Stadia Pro. Stadia for me has become a great supplementary when I'm not at home because there's no other performance like when you're on mobile. For me, I've tried the others, and for me, Stadia works the best on mobile for me.
Yeah.
So that's my switch right there, So, but in terms of buying the games, yeah, I'm like, unless it's like $10 or something, I don't know. I am a bit like, hey, are you guys gonna be around? So yeah, it's just being honest. But I suggest anyone that wants to try it.
Yeah.
At the same time, it works fantastically. I've streamed it. Check out my videos, man. I got almost 300 videos. Check it out. Live stream, it works. It's a great platform. But company wise, I don't know. Up in the air.
Yeah. True. Thank you for that. Let's check in with Monkey again. We're saving Duncan and Gamer TV for last. Monkey, what's your take on this news, man?
Well, usually there's two different reasons for people leaving a company at this stage of its life. It's one, the company's going to go a different direction from what the employees think it should be going, or the company has lost faith in the employees that are there for not taking it the direction that they agreed in. I'm not sure which one this is, but if I could hazard a guess, and this is pure speculation, by the way, this is what I think is going to happen. I think Stadia are sort of getting rid of the tech heads, and I think they want to bring in some more gamers, people with experience, and get this marketing up, because I believe they're looking for a marketing manager of some kind. That job listing appeared. So they're shaking things up, and I hope that in the next few months we see a vast improvement in marketing, because if they don't market the product, they can't get it in anyone's hands. And yeah, I just want to see some more, gaming enthusiasts on board rather than tech enthusiasts. Look, the tech works. We know the tech works. It's fantastic. Let's get some gamers on board, get the games into people's hands that's going to drive the platform forward and get it marketed far better than it has been.
Right.
But so that's what I see happening, but I could be wrong. That's just my personal opinion.
Can I ask you guys, I'm going to open this up for anyone to jump in, then we'll get to Duncan Gamer TV. But so we know they closed the studios and then people lost their jobs. But this recent people leaving, right? Do you think they're leaving, or do you think they actually lost their jobs? Do you think John Justice was like, yo, this is not going to work after the closure? Like, I don't agree with what Stadia's doing. I'm moving somewhere else. This other 5, 6 people that left, do you think they're like, yo, we want out of this ship, right? We move somewhere else? Or do you think they were like, go, just going to open this up for anyone to hop in?
See, I think John Justice was great in interviews he did. But I see him more of a tech guy, and when we see the role that he's just took up at Facebook, he's a president of some kind. I imagine it's going to be on the gaming side. I think he's went there, maybe off his own back, maybe not. I think he's went there to help Facebook build up the gaming tech, because they're sort of lacking behind right now. They're sort of a very early stage. I think that position fits him well for the experience that he's got. And I think it could be a mutual thing, that he's seen this job and then Stadia have been saying, well, we want to go this direction anyway, so maybe someone can come in that's going to, that is more of a gamer and has more experience in that sort of department than him. Yeah, that's a potential thought, possibly.
Okay. Cool. Anyone else with members leaving, do you think they're doing it on their own, or do you think they're getting fired, losing their jobs?
Combination of both, I think. I definitely think that they didn't fire per se, but they signed some non-disclosure agreements like, hey, we're going to move on. We don't like how the books are looking. We're not making money. We're going to move on another direction. I think it was a very nice conversation, but in layman terms, yeah, some were fired. I would definitely say some were fired. I would say maybe anyone having to do with the marketing the tech guys are great. They should get their bonuses, but marketing wise, to me it worked. The marketing worked. I'm sitting here right now, so it did work for me. But I might be a tech guy, maybe but for the average person, they need to reach that person. So yeah, I agree. I think it was how Monkey said, bring in the gamers, man. Bring in the people that are just like enthusiastic, and maybe a name. Pay for a name. Somebody with a big name that's enthusiastic and bring this product. COVID really hurt though. Not because they couldn't
Sure.
work. They could work mobile. The point is where I'm going at with the angle with COVID is you couldn't have like a big E3 or something. Get like a huge booth, because the thing is, when people play Stadia, their opinions of it drastically change.
Yeah.
I'm talking like a complete 180. If they thought it was okay, they think it's great. If they hate it, they're like, I might try this. Every person that's physically tried Stadia, put the controller in their hands, they see the input, they're not watching a video or counting pixels, they're just playing it like casually. They like it. So that really hurt, that you couldn't just go to a brick and mortar store and see Stadia somewhere. So I think that really hurt. But if they could get back to that, it'll be a different story this time next year. I truly believe that.
True. To get to your point with the brick and mortar store, I think JTP, you said this, but you look at the video game landscape in 2020, and pretty much video gaming was hot. My camera's about to do some crazy things, y'all, just to give you a heads up. But video games was hot, right? Everyone did well. Nintendo Switch did well. PlayStation did well, right? Stadia, they went free. The base model went free, March, April. And that could have easily, I mean, that is like free access to millions of people. This defeats, like this is better than the brick and mortar store. This is better than E3, because again, E3, you're targeting, journalists and gamers, but Stadia opened the free base model to everyone early last year. And from what we're seeing with the numbers, though, like they didn't even, if that's accurate, don't know if it is, but what the numbers are saying, not even 1 million people signed up for the service. And so, like, is it the negative press that, again, who was saying it earlier, like when Stadia's mentions, like, don't even talk to me about Stadia kind of deal. Like, why is it that people wouldn't even try Stadia and it's free? You know what I'm saying?
I've got an idea. So you know how everyone's used with a console or a PC? Well, Stadia's completely new. You tell them that you can play a game with a controller and a dongle, and let's be honest, setting it up for the first time to the average person that's used to it, plugging in their Xbox, plugging in their controller, it's completely different. So when you try and explain that to someone that's not a tech enthusiast, it's just an average gamer, they're looking like, what the hell is this? You know, whereas us and quite a lot of other people that like tech and like to try the new tech, we work through that and we get to the bottom of it and understand how it works. The average person doesn't want to have to go through that, and right now it's too new for the average gamer. So it is, it's just setting their ways with a console or a PC. You know, I think that was one of the hurdles anyway. One of the hurdles.
All right, so it being a new tech, all right, fair enough. So let's get Duncan and Gamer TV on here because we didn't get your take on the people leaving. So go ahead, floor is yours.
I'll go first because I think I'm going to be a bit more measured than Gamer TV. We're setting Gamer TV up to be the bad today.
That's why we have him in the bottom. He's like
for me, there's two parts to this. Basically, the first part is John Justice leaving, and the second part is the other people leaving. The other people leaving is just awful coincidence that news has actually came out this week as well, because they have been unfortunately gone for a wee while because they were part of Stadia Games and Entertainment. It has only turned up this week it's only came to light where they have turned up to over the last couple of months. So that is just real unfortunate timing because it came on the back of the John Justice debacle. With him going, I have a feeling it was probably mutual by some of the mood music out there, because if you go to 9to5 Google, they fairly rarely comment of people leaving, but they commented on John Justice leaving just to confirm that he has left. So I think that was a bit telling in regards to that. Am I worried about John Justice leaving? It's basically the question. Yes and no. It all depends who they replace him with. I think that is going to be the key thing for me going forward. If they replace him with a gamer, someone who's got proper experience in the game industry, I think that could be a positive. My only concern, are they making these changes too late? Because it's going to take years for some of these to actually come to fruition, and will Google stick to it? If we get all the gamers on board, but porting games to Stadia isn't like porting games to PC or porting games over the Xbox or xCloud. It is going to take time and money. So that is a bit of an issue for them going forward if they are making this big change. But for me, it all depends who they replace them with. And from a pure optics sort of standpoint, I think this week has been on par, if not worse, than SG&E shutting down, because not only have you got the John Justice stuff, you've also got Stadia being mentioned in the soap opera of a lifetime, the Apple and Epic case, and the question is Stadia dead? And the response is basically no, but it's getting there. That is what has happened this week for Stadia, and I think optically for the gamers out there in the mainstream gamers, like the console gamers and the PC gamers, it is just reinforcing the idea that Stadia is on its last legs.
Can I just counter a point about porting games? I know it's completely new, but remember Google have open sourced a lot of developer tools in the last few weeks, and I think they've done that to get them in the hands of the developers and let them play around with them, you know, learn it, and it's going to eventually make it easier for them to bring their games.
Yeah. Oh, and I just want to mention one wee small point here, because we've been talking about the jobs going to Google as well. Unfortunately, some of the jobs now are mentioning B2B in the job descriptions, which is
business to business. But that could mean that they want a market manager to come in, go business to business to bring these third-party games in that they were talking about. You know, that's a good thing in my eyes. When I read that listing, is it's covering a lot of ground.
Yes, and then there's also the other one with the game stores. They're wanting to work with other platforms, and I forget the exact term, which is also thing. So there is lots of B2B sort of stuff going into their job listings now, which again, people can read it that it's like what you have said there, that it's looking towards to bringing more games and stuff to Stadia, or you can read it that it is going for the business-to-business model.
Yeah, selling the tech.
Yep.
Who knows?
So let's hear Gamers TV's take on all of this.
Well, I think the John Justice news is, like you guys have said, it's unfortunate, but I believe it's mutual as well. So he was a product manager, right? And typically with product managers, either you lose faith in your product or the company loses faith in you. A lot goes into being a product manager. You're writing requirement docs. You're plotting use cases and roadmaps. You're doing a lot for this product. You own the product, right? So you don't just get up and walk away from that. Something happened somewhere, and again, I don't have facts here, but I can say based on experience and what I've seen with a lot of product managers in gaming, they're so attached to their product. It's almost an unhealthy emotional attachment that's your baby, that's your thing. So for him to leave Google, it isn't a good look, and there is trouble somewhere. We don't know to what extent or what the trouble is or what the reasons were and are, but there were enough for him to exit. In terms of the SG&E guys moving over to Haven, like Duncan said, I believe that's just coincidence and no issues there or whatnot. The B2B focus for Google, I think that's a good thing. I think it's a good thing for everyone. I don't believe Stadia is going away. I'll say that. I don't believe it's going away. I don't believe the storefront is leaving. I believe they're adding to the model. I believe they're bringing in the devs and the right people to go out and sit in front of the businesses and bring them over to Google, similar to Amazon. I mean, AWS, that cloud infrastructure supports gaming. It supports gaming so well. It's beautiful. And I can see Google doing the same with Google Cloud, powered by Stadia, to support gaming. I believe this is a direction towards that business model, and that's okay. Now, in terms of bringing faith, for the B2C guys, business to consumers, they're horrible at that. And I can just be straight up and honest about it. If Stadia's tech were owned by PlayStation or Xbox or Apple or Nintendo, we'd say Stadia is the way to play. It's the best, hands down, no matter what. That's because those guys do business very well. Google does business, B2C business, horribly. That's our problem with Stadia, right? It has nothing to do with the tech. We love the tech. It's the business of Google that hampers and hinders Stadia. So if you can't get that right, then we don't know what's going to happen with the platform, because I don't trust Google to turn around their business model and or business acumen, and perhaps bringing in the new blood. Hopefully they bring in people that understand, B2C a little bit better than what they currently have, because it's terrible right now, so that's my take.
Nicely said. I think you hit it right on. And you guys have heard us talk about it here multiple times. The marketing, the business side of things, I think that's what is hindering this service from taking off. The product is excellent. It works well. And a lot of people will attest to that, even the haters, right? I mean, you look at Dreamcast guy and who was when they first tested it can tell you this works insanely well. But nicely said. So we have 10 minutes. Let's move to Shadow. xCloud, just going to give you guys an update. Nothing new, much happening, just some new game releases that quickly we'll touch up. But I do want to talk about Shadow because I feel like there's a lot of interesting things happening for Shadow right now. But xCloud, we have Red Dead Online coming May 13th. So we pretty much got their May lineup. So we have Psychonauts coming May 13th as well. We have Just Cause 4 May 13th. We have Final Fantasy X X2 HD Remastered coming May. A lot of these games are coming May 13th, but Steep came out May 6th, which is a really good game as well. And then Outlast 2 came out May 6th as well. So those are the xCloud games that are coming for the month of May. Just making sure I'm not missing any more. That looks to be it, right? So just real quick, gonna open it up to the panel. What are your thoughts on this? Are you guys excited to play any of these games? I know. So now they officially have GTA and Red Dead Online. So kudos to Gamepass again, but they have both Rockstar games in their portfolio for the cloud. So shout outs to them. But anyone else want to add to this before we move to Shadow?
The Red Dead Online one is just very, very interesting to me. Just here's a question: why isn't Red Dead Online available on Stadia as a standalone?
Is there an actual Red Dead Online standalone? Like,
Yes.
there
Yeah.
is.
That's what's on Xbox Cloud Gaming.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like Destiny free to play, right? That's on Stadia. So, right, is it free to play? Red Dead
No.
Online?
It's a nominal charge. It was £5. It's now, I think it's £15 by $20 mark.
Yeah.
Huh. Again, I wonder if Microsoft got paid for like an exclusive rights to it. And again, why isn't GTA 5 and Stadia 2, right?
Yeah, and with the Red Dead Redemption 2 online, you can get it on PlayStation as well. You can get it on PC. The only place which you can buy Red Dead Redemption where you can't get Red Dead Online is Stadia, which is just completely anotherly strange for me.
Oh,
yeah. I think this is why we're seeing the big switch around in the, with the heads and the behind the scenes. I think these are the reasons why. But it possibly could be a lack of player base, for online games. The developers maybe, don't want to sort of waste their time and resources, under the current climate. But I think we see that changing as the world gets back to normal, possibly.
True. So, anyone else before we hop into Shadow?
If you like scary games, play Outlast 2.
Yeah. It's a good game. A lot of good games on this list, man. I can't stress it enough. Steep is great. Psychonauts coming. Just Cause, Forest Cloud 2, that's coming. Final, a lot of good games coming this May. So again, if you're xCloud, check it out. Good stuff. All right, let's shift to Shadow. I'm going to open this up to Jerry to kind of break us in as to what's been going on lately with this company.
Poor Shadow. Actually, the funny thing is, Shadow is probably going to be fine. It's the gaming consumers that may or may not be, and people that want to use Shadow. So we saw that email that went out to certain people. I don't know if you got one, Ace, or not.
I got one.
I thought you did. That anyone on Ultra was being rolled back to Boost by May 20th.
The worst email ever.
The worst email. This is where we've been talking about B2C and B2B. Shadow's gonna shift a lot to B2B, I do believe. They're gonna need to be profitable. We were talking about how these existing Boost blades, the P5000 GPU and the CPU they have in there, is become very aged for gaming, and gamers are not gonna want to be on Boost for very much longer. Every time I test a new game, the performance is worse and worse. It's just it's not made to handle it. However, for business purposes, they could charge 5, 6, 7, 8 times the $15 a month we pay now for that same hardware, and those businesses won't care. They are going to need it for different purposes. So I see that happening. Now, I saw the new owners of Shadow, I guess, tweeted out today saying, we're rolling back US only. UK doesn't need to worry. And this is for legal purposes. And we're going to be doing new CPUs and GPUs. Well, That doesn't even make sense. I more believe we're being herded on to Boost first, and then the price increase is going to come to dump more people off, and that will free up more hardware for the B2B. And then if they start developing gamer side upgraded blades, that would be great for them to refocus on the gamer side as well. But what's that development going to take 1, 2, or 3 years to implement? You can't just go take CPUs and GPUs and sock them into the existing blades. It's absolutely not going to work. The motherboard wouldn't even run the hardware that you need to get right now to do that. So the time frame is scary. So to me, Shadow for the gamer, if it's not dead forever, it's going to be dead for a little while until they refocus the gamer side, if they ever do. So I just, there's still a lot of unknowns. I keep telling everybody, just be patient. If you're still using Shadow Boost in the US and you're okay with that, keep it. If you're still using whatever, Ultra Infinite, whatever over in the UK or whatever, it's working for you, keep it. But keep an eye out, because price increases, more rollbacks, B2B, and refocusing of the company is coming, and we don't know what all that means yet.
Yeah. I forgot, I think it was you, Chief, but when we broke the news of, on the 30th, when we got the announcement, one of you guys said they just put up on the face, right? And after the deal is inked, we'll see the real outcome of what actually is going to happen. And I think we're starting to see that now, right? They were trying to make the gamers feel like nothing's going to happen, but you're seeing it. I feel like it's a slow rollout to shutting gaming from Shadow and focusing on like a business enterprise software, which sucks.
Yeah, and any business that rolls back doesn't just come out and say what they're doing, because who wants every subscriber to cancel that day and all their revenues on? Is it right? It doesn't feel right, but every business does that. Even if Stadia were to roll back, or Xbox, Shadow, whatever, they're never going to come out and say exactly what's happening right away, because everybody would leave in a mass exodus and their revenue would be gone. They slow roll you out until they get the product to its new spot. So
sure, which sucks. Anyone else want to add to that?
The biggest alarm bell for me was that they have already switched Ultra and Infinite over to the OVX cloud in Europe already, and they say that they're working on new CPUs, new GPUs, new storage, but right at the end they say they're working on new offers as well. So yeah, I think the price increase is inevitable. It just who's going to stick around with it? That's the big question.
Yeah. So here's the thing: we give Stadia a hard time when it comes to like communication and market and PR. I feel like Shadow needs to straight up let people know what the hell is going on, right? If you guys are going to still be in business, if you guys are going to shift course, let the people know. Don't string us along and just make us wait. I mean, this is, again, Shadow dropping the ball when it comes to communication. Just have to be 100% with that too.
But the fellas behind this business, the guys and gals, they ain't going to come out and tell you that our roadmap is we're going to increase the price, get everyone off, and go business to business. They're going to just keep telling you everything's all right, to keep the money coming in, and then eventually, as the numbers dwindle, they have a factual. They have the numbers there will show that it's better to go business to business for the future of the company, etc. It's not an old trick; it's happened forever, and I think that's the way it's going to go, unfortunately, which is a shame because I never got to try it.
Yeah, it's not a great look. Anyone else want to add to the Shadow news?
I'll just say that business, this is how business works, right? And it's while disappointing, these guys have their own best interest in mind. They aren't truly thinking about the consumers first,
right?
And unfortunately, every business that struggles or battles a bankruptcy and deals with different mergers and purchases, acquisitions, it's always about the business first. Like, how can the business survive? What must we do during this phase? And once we, get out of this, then perhaps we'll roll something out and reveal a grander plan for the consumers. But we, unfortunately, during this time, we won't know a damn thing.
So true. So true. Cool. All right. Just we're kind of close in time. Just want to give the panel members just a chance to let people know what they do and where they can find you. But just real quick, we had members from Waypoint Podcast, and we had Rictone here who had to leave a little early, but his link is in the description. Awesome. Maybe I'm gonna let JD talk for Rictone too, but if you guys haven't checked him out, his link is in the description. Does awesome stuff, has a lot of awesome videos, so check out his channel. But to start, let's start with JD. Where can people find you, sir, and what do you do?
Yep. Yeah, I'm JD3MXP. You can find me at JD3MXP on all social media platforms and all gamer, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, PSN, everywhere, Xbox. It's all the same. You can find me there. You can find me with Rictone and the Christian Gamer Dad every Thursday night at the Waypoint Gaming Podcast. You can find me on the Cloud Station TV podcast every Wednesday night with Dr. Spaceman, Stadia Vet, and Ray. And you can find me with the SBCN game, Team Stadia 100. Find me there every Friday night for Friday Night Fights, every night at 10 p.m. And yeah, so I'm just a gamer, just love the game. Thank you guys for having me, inviting me on the show. Me and Rictone, we definitely enjoyed our time being here. Love the panel members here. You guys do great stuff, great work. Keep it up. And yeah, hope to be on again.
Awesome. Let me ask you a question. Where aren't you, dude? You're like everywhere, bro. It's awesome, though. I love it. Again, JD and Rictone, man, awesome guests. We really appreciate you guys. Love the insight and input to the cloud gaming discussions, man. Good stuff. Good to have you guys. Right. JTP, where can people find you, sir, and what do you do?
Yeah, as always, somehow Ace continues to convince people to come on the show, and I think it's great. We always have awesome guests over here, so he's very manipulative. That's how he got me here. But yeah, at Game Tech Planet on Twitter. Make sure you go join Discord for giveaways and more, and of course on YouTube. You guys know by now, Cloud Console and PC.
Cool. Duncan, what do you do, sir? Where can people find you?
I am over at Cloudy with Games. We are the troublemakers of the whole community, apparently. So if you want to join us, we've got stuff going on our channel every single day. So go check that out there.
Cool. Gamer TV, sir. Good to have you here. What do you do, and where can people find you?
Hey, man, I just try to display the cloud platforms down the line, down the middle, keep it fair, keep it good. Find me at GMR TV Plus, Twitter, YouTube, and that's about it, man. And yeah, JD, Rictone, you guys rock. Thank you. And Ace, you're the man. I appreciate you too, man.
Awesome. Good to have you on here. By the way, guys, like I said, everyone's link who are on this panel, even people like Mark Watts, his link is also in the description. So definitely make sure you check these guys out, give them a look, give them a go. Monkey, do you want to plug anything here?
Yeah, I'm going to just give a shout out for our website, which we don't talk about a whole lot, and we really should. I'm working hard on that. So any of the news videos you see, there is most likely going to be an article that follows. And if you want to know when they come out, follow me on Twitter, because I always tweet out the videos and the articles at the same time. And yeah, if you like what we do, keep coming and check everyone out here. Rictone's good. The Waypoint Podcast is one of my favourite. I always watch it on a Friday morning.
Good stuff, man.
Good stuff. It comes on late at night for me. I watch it the next morning. That's how I start my Friday mornings. I could listen to you guys forever. It's that soulful voice that Rick's got, man. It's fantastic. I love it.
It's great stuff. Awesome, guys. Appreciate you joining and watching. So next week, we're going to have a special guest, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know him by the name of Sunny. So it's going to be cool to get his intake on cloud gaming. So let's see how that goes. Should be a lot of fun. All right, fellas. Appreciate you guys. We'll catch you guys same time next week, next Saturday. Till next time, fellas. Peace out.